So this is where it's I get budget. They're always almost 70. Oh, it does. No, yeah. It would be more than that. No, taking them.
I don't have the salary.
Take it up to 60. Between the two. 74.
Yeah. Okay.
Percentage.
Yeah. So.
782. Yeah, that's 13.
Oh, I see. Oh, so, sorry. Okay. And then divided by. Like how much is it? Okay, to figure out what the amount of.
2040. That was over the year. So that is.
That's it.
That's
I forgot to say something. Okay, so wait, so let's keep that. 13,370. By two. What's that? So now like one of them divided by.
It's like town meeting.
Yes.
Yep.
Instead of. So, yeah, yeah. No, thank you. Yes, I see.
I looked at.
Giving us some pictures.
I did. Just looking at it.
It's kind of right after the pledge to get out of the way.
Right there. Fire department. Get rid of buildings. This year, and then it'll start getting better.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that's where. Should be done. How much is it?
We got these wonderful.
It's in the section, all right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Looks like more weight than I've seen.
Well, yeah, like that hour, like vacation was going, so like she knew. One day.
Three.
I think we're just 30 seconds. No, so we were ready to go like. See them. Yeah. Let me start with. Yeah, that's. So what's better?
Yeah. And all.
We have something that's awesome.
And they go. Yeah.
Honestly, purposes for the audit.
I think that's. I don't know where to get it from.
Bring them up as they can. She'll probably.
I think so.
You do not have a job, you just have.
Okay.
But it's like.
Good. It'll be up a wall. Okay, folks. Call the order now. This is the 11th of March meeting of the Budget Committee. It is now 5:01. And we'll all rise and we'll give the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We missed that item on the agenda, just like reviewing it with care. And that is the adoption of the minutes of last. Did I hear a motion? So moved. Second.
Hey, hang on. Ray, John, there is a correction which nobody caught, but I think I figured it out last night when we were meeting. I said that I think I said somewhere that the air conditioning units, where's Dan? Were on top of the deeds, but they're not. They're on the county courthouse, aren't they?
In the attic space of the county courthouse.
Okay. Right, I said the building housing the registry of deeds, and it shouldn't say registry of deeds, it should say the county courthouse.
Yes.
Maybe he'll move and make it, that's correct.
Well, I'll move to amend as.
Accept the amendment. I'll second.
Okay, I'm good, thank you.
Okay. All in favor?
And one abstain.
Yeah. Everyone.
Welcome, Sean.
Yes, we'd like to welcome one member who has not been possible to make it here, Sean Dixon over at the very end. He's also a member of the committee, and I assume he's been doing his homework. And he's here now to drive on. Oh, and I must say as well, while I'm at it, I'm not gonna be able to make the next meeting, and I'm confident in Kathy here, who will run the meeting. I have to be in the forestry convention in Downcountry, and it'll be a hardship to have to leave it at this late hour and this half a day of conventioning. But I think we should have things pretty well ready to be dealt with at that time. Okay. But would you please run through quickly a process, what the normal process is and what this process was developing the budget so that everybody here is.
Well, this year's, I think, was just the same as it's been in prior years. It starts out by Scott sending out a message to all department heads that he needs to have their budget in by a certain date, and it was the 9th of, not sure which one, January. And the departments turned their budget requests in to Scott at that time. And then he made up a budget out of that, put them all together. We can't take one department and not have the others. So he put them all together and gave a bottom line figure for us. And then after that, we met with the department heads and went over their requests. And they, you know, there were some lines, obviously, you can skip, ones that are small lines and like that. But otherwise, we went down through line by line, and the department heads told us why they were requesting that certain amount for that budget item. Some of them we felt the same way they did after hearing them, and some we didn't. And you know yourselves that you've received, I believe, 2 at least revisions and possibly 3 revisions of the budget. That wasn't because Scott didn't have anything to do and he just wanted to give you a revision. That was because we made changes. And so he wanted us to at all times to have an updated version so that we could see the bottom line figure. Then after talking with the department heads, then we had it in one of our meetings, and they again would make requests. Mostly by that time, it was requests that they felt someone in their department needed to, deserved, I shouldn't say needed, deserved a raise more than the 3.5% that we were, that was what Scott was recommending from last year's figures, what he thought we could stand this year and what he thought the taxpayers could stand this year. So then the department has made their request for Susie Q deserves to have an increase this year because a larger increase because of all the work Susie Q has done. And they were very, very precise and very good with it. We took those requests and we gave them to our HR department. The HR department did a great deal of research, came back to us with sheets telling us that they agreed with some, I'm not sure how many they agreed with.
Yeah, they look at basically what the state is paying, what is being paid around the state in other counties, and other comparable type positions, determines sort of what the midpoint is, and then makes a decision based on, or a recommendation based on what that research reveals.
And in many instances, it was different than what the department heads actually had, said, because the department heads are working with them every day and they know they do a great deal of work. But when it comes down to us actually giving the extra money that the taxpayers are going to have to pay for, we have to look at what the other counties are doing, the other businesses are doing, and all combined. It can't just be that, yes, they are doing a great job, because we do have many people at the county level that are doing a great job. So then that was the final revision that we presented. I believe that you folks have the final revision now. And we received that from all but one department, did not present their budget to us. She said she was going to present it to the budget committee, which made it a little bit difficult because of the fact God has to see fit each piece together. We have to make sure that every department is included in the budget that we present. So that was the only one that we didn't have the opportunity to go through as thoroughly as every other department. I think that brings us up to,
Okay,
do you have any questions on that? I mean, I think it's the same as it's been each year, but
one, go ahead.
Thank you. So just for clarification, there was one department that did not respond to Scott's request.
that's,
They provided information, but I don't think came before the commission.
Okay, so they didn't really allow you to go through the process of review. The other question is with HR, with your HR department, I guess there's more than one person.
yes,
Do they report directly to the administrator or to the commissioners? To you, okay,
but the report came to us
understood.
Yeah.
Thank you.
and it was very detailed.
I think Catherine got a copy of it.
You sent it to the whole committee.
We all did.
Now, the exception to what has been said was that for certain categories of employees that are not covered by a contract, they made separate arrangements for the senior executives, right?
No,
No?
no. everybody, all non-bargain employees got 3.5 unless they had a contract or something like that.
So the non-bargain employees got 3.5 or what they had requested in their contracts, all of which the commission couldn't change anyway, right?
Right.
We can't change the
Yeah,
contracts.
okay.
But you did just say that you took the HR study and used that to evaluate some of the requests,
But the requests weren't for contracts.
right? They were for the non-contract,
Correct.
upper level.
Yes.
That's what you
A little bit of,
Okay,
because you got like EMA, you got finance and other ones that asked for something different. So, but then they made a decision based on a report. Some got it, some didn't.
But there was no bargain people.
No, no
We
bargain,
changed,
can't
right.
change them at all. The contract dictates what they get.
right. I think we were talking, Eric, about the non-bargain
Mhm.
people.
Yes.
Right.
So some we did change, yes, after the HR report, if they requested it, if the department had requested it, and HR gave us the statistics that said that they should have it because of the other counties and the other municipalities and towns and everything having it, then we did increase it. Maybe not as much as was requested,
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, very good.
can we switch these? Can we do the departments and then do that last?
Sure. We're gonna skip down to number 5 on the agenda. I don't know if everybody has it or not, but that the number 5 is loose ends for previous discussion by department. You want to consider this these 3 as part of the loose ends? Okay, we'll do the last. So would you like to begin?
So I know that we just had all the presentations and we really didn't ask questions or delve into things. And you guys all did a wonderful job doing that. In the last year, we meshed that all, it was interwoven. So I just think we should go down through each department and see if there are any questions from this committee. And if there's anything that department wants to add from the floor, does that work for
Right,
people?
And we'll give the,
And a reminder, if you want to make any changes, they have to be done with the chart of accounts number. So I have to know what it was and what you're proposing it goes to.
we agreed that the union people from the jail have an opportunity that when they're stuff up, they'll have a check to check.
They're part of the department.
Yep. Yep. So whenever we get to
So
the jail,
it's the first.
what do you think?
So I think the jail is up first.
Okay,
So from the committee, is there anything that you guys want to talk about? And then we can go to the board.
Whoa.
Questions? No questions? All right.
questions for you. Move on to the next item. Have you finished your negotiating yet?
So I don't negotiate. That's between the county administrator and the NC.
The county administrator finished negotiating it?
No.
Okay. Just so we know, you're not aware.
Ongoing.
Okay.
That's it?
No,
No.
Okay.
Nice crowd.
I'm gonna harp back on overtime, which we talked about a lot last year. So you propose keeping it flat this year, is that correct?
Yep.
And I think you had said that if the hiring goes well, the per stays going up instead of flopping around so much, that may not be as much this time.
Yeah, cautiously optimistic. Our numbers are going up as of April, as of right now, when we start a new class, we'll be fully staffed, right? So if we back up 2 years ago, we asked you all to increase wages because we couldn't hire because the wages were so low. We came back last year and said, now we can hire, can we call positions? Now you're seeing our overtime going from, I gave the numbers, I can give them again, but it was around 50 overtimes a shift. We're averaging 30 overtime shifts a week right now as we hire and train staff, which takes a significant amount of time once they're hired to get them trained so they can work the floor. So as we continue to hire and maintain those staff, retain those staff, Less overtime is good for the staffing too, right? Because people aren't getting forced in. Helps us retain those individuals. Cautiously optimistic that those overtime shifts will start going down. That being said, there are a lot of those overtime shifts that we can't control. Hospital coverages, trainings, things that just happen in our line of work.
So do you think there's any wiggle room in that number?
I wouldn't be comfortable cutting it right now, not knowing what's gonna happen with future negotiations, not knowing where we're gonna be next year, the year after, right? It really depends. I think that large wage increase got us into the playing field where the CEOs are getting paid X amount. So we get in the middle of the field. I think if there's small increases over the next several years, we're gonna be right back where we were 3 years ago. And I'm gonna be coming and asking you guys for 10 or 15 or huge increases to get them back into the same playing field as everybody else.
Yep.
That's my opinion. So I can't sit here and say that I would cut it right now. I think you'll need to go down. You gotta remember too, that number is flat, right? In the last 2 years. They've received significant wage increases the last 2 years. You're not seeing that overtime line increase by a percentage, because you gotta remember, every little bit of wage increase they get, that's time and a half increasing on their overtime rate. So the fact that it's staying flat funded is your decrease rate. Really, it should be increasing as everything else increases, and it's not. That's because the overtime is being cut, meaning we're working less overtime because our staffing is going up because we can hire and retain.
That's awesome.
Yes, it is.
I would, yeah, I'd compliment you on the getting an action reaction.
Yep.
You don't always see that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I mean, we're doing well, but again, things can happen, right?
Yeah.
Things,
Yeah.
years from now, we'll be talking about something completely different that we didn't see coming. And
Yeah.
I mean, I remember 4 or 5 years ago, I think we had 24 staff in the jail and we were supposed to have 55 at the time. So we've come a long way.
Well, yeah.
It's just continuing to chip away at that. So I wouldn't be comfortable cutting it, no, to answer your question. Not right now. Hoping next year. But you never know.
Okay, we'll see. Hope next year, but we'll start against,
Maybe.
Maybe. But like, it's
Fair
a very unpredictable world we live in right now, especially, and then it's an unpredictable career, right? Or we do profession, so you never know what's gonna happen. So,
I'll just mark it down and I'm skeptical.
okay,
I'm gonna leave it that way.
yeah, that's good.
Anything further on this?
anything further on the
No,
jail?
that was, no.
Then would you like to say, take a stand and
You know, you're what? That was easy, thank you.
I will keep it short and sweet as I possibly can. First and foremost, I just want to thank the committee for their work and for allowing me to speak tonight. I want to thank the county as well for extending the invitation to the NCU to participate in the process and to attend this hearing. I appreciated that Commissioner opened with an explanation of the normal process because I really want to highlight that this presentation and me coming here to speak directly with this committee, it's not part of the normal process to obtain a wage increase. We actually began the normal process, the negotiation process, all the way back in August. Or we were supposed to anyways. We began in late August, and my presence here tonight is the unfortunate and direct result of the county's decision to unilaterally file for mediation, which came after the NCU felt we were forced to file a prohibited practice complaint to address a failure to bargain in good faith. And in attempt to use this committee process to impose a wage increase that the county wanted to see. Wages are subjects of mandatory subjects of bargaining, meaning they have to be negotiated with the union. Mandatory subjects of bargaining include wages, hours, and working conditions. The NCU represents 9 of 15 Maine County jails. This is the only one that forces us to go through this process. Though it's highly irregular for any union to speak directly with the budget committee, particularly to advocate for an increase in wages for our members, I am extremely glad to be here to do so. I think there is value in doing so, and that the committee has learned a great deal, particularly those who are taking it upon themselves to visit the jail about the function of corrections and a little bit more about the profession as well as the risks our members face. And as a result of our involvement in past budget committee meetings, particularly the granting of that additional 7% wage increase a few years ago, staffing levels have stabilized, and that is the most any union leader could ever hope for in the Department of any corrections, representing corrections as a profession. That means safer staffing levels for the members I work with. As Captain Slaney just spoke to, that means a decrease in overtime, more time with their families, and healthier living conditions for the people doing the work. We do anticipate, from the union perspective, that this overtime will continue to decline if we can just stay the course and retain staff. This year, we proposed a 5% wage increase, and we come here today to ask the committee directly to grant that wage increase. This would bring the starting wage up from $23.17, where it is currently, to $24.32. And yes, we acknowledge that this request comes on the heels of a rather large wage increase, which was necessary to get Kennebec County jail staff up to par with what other departments were offering. I know the same had to be done with the deputies who were, from what I heard, and I don't represent those folks, among the lowest paid in the state. The bottom line is, if wages are not kept competitive, the county will face yet another massive wage increase in just a few years' time to yet again right the ship and ensure safe staffing levels at the facility. Kennebec really is a great place to work and has an extremely strong leadership team. I can't say enough good things about the sheriff and the jail administrator. They're some of the best that I have the privilege of working with. But this alone does not retain employees. We're really not asking to make Kennebec the highest paid county jail in Maine, but we are asking to ensure safe staffing levels are maintained for both our members and for your community as a whole. Realistically, these folks do a lot of work with some of the most vulnerable members of your community, and we just want to enable them to be able to do so safely. And I have a little informational sheet. Like I said, I promised to keep it short this time, which provides a visual of where wages are and where they would be if the 5% wage increase was granted. This is a wage survey that includes data on all the county jails in the state of Maine. Like I said, the NCU represents 9 out of the 15. And I would be happy to answer any questions from the community, and you are all welcome to reach out to me at any time if you have questions after that.
Can you tell us who you are?
Giovanna Peruzzi. I'm sorry, I remember you from last year. I remember your face. I don't remember your name either. I'm the National Correctional Employees Union Labor Representative.
Can you spell it for me?
I can get you a card. It might
That's
be-
even better, thank you.
Yeah. I have some in my pockets. I'll give you all one. Let's pass them down. Thank you.
It gets you on the record too for the tape.
Yes.
I know it's not really a tape. It's all digital. I'm old. I'm not old enough for 8-track though.
Oh, I see.
Don't go there.
But I remember having to take records off the radio on a cassette player, so I didn't have to buy them. Thank you, Giovanni.
Oh,
Scott, or maybe Brian.
Yeah.
Or Ken, whoever, was there a number put into the budget for anything for the increase that the union is talking about?
3%.
Okay, so 3% is shown. And that goes, is that just for corrections officers or is that throughout the jail?
Yeah, bargain.
Any bargaining.
Okay.
well, I am at a loss, what to do with this, but, what do you say? I don't know that we do have the authority to do it, but what do you think? Oh, no.
The crickets. The crickets.
It's an early morning, so I'm out of here. I don't, I personally am reluctant to impede on a union contract negotiation at this point that hasn't been settled. I mean, there's a difference. Just, I don't think we don't really care about the authority. I just care about the process that I'm not sure that that's our role before a contract is settled. My own personal
Well, even if we put the money in the budget, that doesn't mean they have to
Doesn't do-
negotiate to that level. It just means that you're allowing for that funding, and if, so then the question is, let's say that you negotiate a 5%. Let's say you negotiate something above the 3% that's in there. How do we then pay for that?
It wouldn't be in the budget.
Well, it still has to get paid if they sign the
Well, no,
contract.
that's right, but what I'm
It would
saying.
be an
it wouldn't
overrun.
be in there, they have to drag it out of somewhere else,
That's what I'm asking.
yeah. Gotta have it in there somewhere.
So that would either be Joe, Patsy, or Scott.
How much does that, what's the total? When you count all of the step increases and the,
It's hard to do because there's so many positions.
God can tell you what the negotiators would do for the county negotiators.
If you approve something that's, if you negotiate something that's higher than what's in the budget, where does the funding come? from?
Higher or lower?
Well,
Give us the-
It's like anywhere else. Come from fund balance.
Okay,
That's an override. So
any other,
it's the commissioners who have
Kind of
to,
a loss as well.
yeah,
Interesting position of that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't think we have the authority to say yes or no to that, so I think we just stay out of it. I think it's the commissioners and Scott that are doing the heavy lifting on this. They make the final decision.
well, there's obviously fund balance available if they do that, so it's not gonna wreck things. I mean, it changes things certainly, but
we could provide it with a footnote on, then we provide it on the footnote on the line saying that this is just to make sure it's available. And it's not just to prejudge the results of any negotiation.
Well,
Think
that-
that's good or-
No, I've not, I mean, I've sat on the opposite side of the table for many years from this young lady. In budgets for municipalities, and I am reluctant to do that because it provides a target.
Yeah.
And whether it's perception or reality,
Yeah,
it's still a number that can be rationalized by some and not by others.
well, let's go down the list and make sure everybody's had their something to say. Sean, what would you say?
Just trying to take this all in right now.
Yeah. And, Eric,
Lloyd, I concur with John's position on that.
yeah. Not even inclined to express an inclination on the subject?
Well, I would just support really the position that John has expressed on it.
Yeah.
Is that it's,
I'd like to hear if Scott in the back corner has anything to say first before I,
Yeah,
do you have any comments you'd like to add about this situation?
The only thing that I'll say is that this is the largest portion of our workforce, and any change that you make will have a significant impact. And you can't, if you decide more in the budget, that's what's going to the taxes. It's not like an up to.
Right.
Okay, so
but if you come back with 1% more than 3%, then you'll give us a revised budget.
It will be finalized by
No.
that time.
No,
it'll just come out of
When-
fund balance.
When will it be finalized?
you don't
Maybe
know.
by June.
You don't know.
in progress.
You don't know.
And the courts
it'll be over the
involved.
next couple of months.
Yeah,
Or
It's in mediation.
yeah, maybe,
Oh, yeah, it's done before. But the contract ends June 30th? June 30th. Okay, so long after we're done.
so.
I'm good with things as they are. How about you guys?
We can't put any number in there because we just,
You kill negotiations if you do that.
yeah, that's exactly right.
So does anyone have any?
I have another question, Scott. You put a percentage in there essentially as a placeholder for, to make sure there is something that goes under the taxes. So if it's zero, I mean, typically you wouldn't put an anticipated raise in a budget. But-
Even if we say it's 3%,
Right.
it's actually more than that. By the time we do step increases.
Yeah.
and benefits and all that other kind of stuff, It's just not at 3%. We put a placeholder in there because at the time, I mean, negotiations began, I don't know, 3/4 of a year ago. So I have nothing from the department, so I don't know what they're gonna be asking for. So it's hard to say, yeah, okay, yeah, let's do 5, let's do 10%, you know? Because I don't know what the bottom line impact is gonna be. And then it needs to go to the commission with a reasonable tax increase. So, you know, that's why we use 3%.
And it also minimizes, reduces the potential of having to dip into the fund balance
Yeah.
at a more significant amount.
It would be interesting if you'd show us what the total difference is, just so we know. Could you do that for next meeting?
Really?
3%, and then the effects on fridges and everything. Probably
I'm
get
not
the
gonna give you
direct
the
wage
effect on the
increase.
benefits. No, I can't do, but,
Well, give us a number that you get with the qualifications that have to come with it. Of what an additional
It's an
Maybe a
additional
ballpark.
2%.
2% would
Is
be.
this another 3-year contract?
Yes, it is. This is just for year one.
Okay, and so there's obviously some other amount for year 2 and 3.
Which hasn't been resolved either.
But at least we'll have that amount next year when we're doing the budget. So that's.
Yeah, it's
that
always
becomes a
easier.
known figure for the following 2 years.
It's always easier the second year of a budget, of a contract.
It's like shooting darts and what you can't see.
And it would take the commissioners' vote of the commissioners to withdraw money from the fund,
Fund balance.
right, fund balance. Is that right?
Yeah.
Scott, am I right?
yeah.
Okay, they can do that without just on their own. There's no other committee that gets involved or. Okay, thank you.
Does anyone have asking a secretary, sorry. Does anyone have any line item in the corrections budget that you would like to make a change on?
No, it's good deal.
Is this where we talk about salaries?
Yeah, if you want
Yes.
to talk about anything in this, yeah, we can always come back to it, because we're not voting for,
Okay,
on anything tonight, just on particular changes we'll work on.
because we have some comments about salaries that came to us today.
Yes,
No.
but we would, be dealing with those all at once.
Thank you.
Oh, Mike's email?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't have anything in particular about, so Mike Perkins couldn't be here tonight because I see you, Scott. Do you have any answer for, Lloyd?
So just the 2%, probably about 112 to 115,000.
Okay,
And if you assume like 40% for benefits is usually the assumption, that puts it up to about 160.
okay.
And that's an increase from 3% to 5%. Thank you. So I was starting to say that Mike Perkins couldn't be here tonight, so he sent us some notes, but there wasn't anything specific about anyone in the jail.
Okay,
Yeah,
just in general, but was.
in general, as he stated at the last meeting, the Northeast region is 3.135 CPI. And he would like all raises to be at 3.1. Which I believe is just exactly what he said previously.
And I'll follow that up with a comment of my own. There's a lot of people in this state, or in this county, that are on social security. Their social security raise was 2.8%. I know because I'm one of them. The federal government decided 2.8. 3.5 is 25% higher than that. That seems a little much. And I'm not very thrilled with that number, 3.5. I don't know where Mike got the 3.1. He referred to some Northeast something or other that they use in Oakland. I would say that should be considered to be the high point. 3.1 for all raises. And specifically for people who are in the $100,000 range. That's just my opinion.
Is there anything specific to the to this line?
Well, looking at the top two individuals in this account. If you use the 3.5 figure, which, as I just said, is very generous. There's, between the two of them, there are roughly $13,000 over and above the cost of living for their raises. Now, I understand that you took a salary survey and you looked at other counties and all that. But that's a lot of money, guys. So my challenge is, if you think you deserve $13,000 more per year between the two of you, find it in your budget. Take it out of your budget. I'm gonna tell you, Ken, I'm gonna say the same thing about the sheriff's department. As a matter of fact, I'll pre-warn you, that's a similar number for you.
I figured that was coming.
Okay.
I'm just gonna bet you're gonna do that, Terry.
I don't know if you're at that yet.
Well, he's.
You know, I'm not, but I'd rather stand up and talk to you than sit down.
Okay, go ahead. I don't really have a question. I'm just telling you that's my impression of these two budgets. The jail and the sheriff's department. We're talking about a lot of money.
And I respect, your opinion, I really do. But the HR did the study
I know,
on all the sheriff's offices, okay? Especially with the Chief Reed and I over at the sheriff's office with the big bump that the collective bargaining agreement or FOP is getting. Okay, you're gonna have a sergeant, a union, making more than a lieutenant. Okay, I don't know if you've ever been in the military or, okay.
yeah,
The sergeant
I
doesn't
get-
make more than a lieutenant.
I get where you're going with this. But we have to, this board has to answer to the taxpayers as well.
Agreed.
And you do too.
Oh, I
Okay,
certainly do.
I know you get voted on. Your position is voted on. But that isn't necessarily true of these other individuals in this budget. They're not up for public election like.
Correct. But they put their lives on the line every single day working in the facilities, like myself, my chief and our staff do every day, supporting the citizens of the county.
I just want to tell you, I respect the jobs that all of you guys do. You're at risk every day. I understand that. But we have to find a happy medium. But my challenge to you is, if these are the numbers, can you reduce your budget to offset at least part of these large rate increases? I won't call them raises, I'll call them increases, which you likely deserve. But by the same token, we have to answer to the public.
Agreed. And we can look into that. Okay.
I apologize for this thing going off. I
No,
thought
not
about it
at all, not at all.
It's absolutely fine. We can look into that and I could see where we could possibly cut. I have a good salary and I'm grateful for that. I also have a pile of responsibilities.
Yes, you do.
I have about 112 staff members that I'm responsible for and 125 inmates on the correctional facility, all on my shoulders. Okay. I can look. I can look and we can see what we can do, but I can't promise anything. And again, it's up to the budget committee to make the final decision on what our salaries are. Okay?
Okay.
So that lays on this board.
I would just say that, and it's neither here nor there as to this particular matter, but one of the first things that I attended to when I got in 4 years ago was how in hell we're gonna fight the labor market all the time? How are we gonna resist what happens in the labor market? And never got a satisfactory answer. We started with the jail. I'm so delighted that that has worked. People say, well, people are gonna be the public service, but when inflation like it is, and it's gonna get worse. I don't know. I have a lot of trouble with this, and if HR says this is what the market is paying, that means something. We could go back to the days when the county was run by people with minimum abilities and minimum alternatives, and we're glad to get rid of some of those guys. We are doing much better now than we were in the past, and that's got to be considered too. So I don't know what to say to you, but we're glad you're bringing it up. Anybody else down there?
Yeah, I'll just follow up on that, Ray, and just really address to the sheriff and to the jail. Ray's suggestion or challenge is not coming from the committee. That's not something that we voted on. That represents Ray's opinions or Ray's ideas, and they're creative, and I commend him for offering those. I don't support that approach because there's problems inherent in cutting services to fund salaries, especially at the leadership level. So I just want to make it clear that that's not something that the committee has voted on or come to an agreement on. That represents Ray's opinions solely at this point.
Probably Ray and Dixon too.
It could be, but we haven't,
Yeah.
as a committee,
Yeah. Right.
codified that.
Ray and who?
Sean was, as
No.
expressed.
Mike.
They were,
This is Sean. Mike.
yeah. That's expressed.
I said it.
Don't like that.
You're just like.
I'm not the only one. Although you have a much better excuse than I do.
Quiet, Charlie.
Yeah, sorry.
That's Eric down there.
Yeah.
I'm still suspicious of that, Ray, but I'm.
Eric, don't you find out about that?
I got mine, all right.
Yeah, this is. Anyway.
Do
Glad we
you
can
do you have a specific thing or?
No, I just.
Approach.
Okay.
Comments, my approach, my hope is that the sheriff and the jail. That
It's
number
just easier.
without
You want?
impeding the ability to do the job, but just find places you can bring it back.
I need to get $2,000. One more. The open. I introduce 50,000. I wouldn't change it how I do it. I wouldn't because I love the dog.
Oh, now we're not gonna pay you anything.
Just say,
That was a mistake. That was a mistake.
no, I wouldn't do that to you, Ken.
I know. But I'm just saying.
I'm just,
Yeah, well,
just asking.
No,
no,
you
you
did.
I hear it again.
Okay.
Look it over.
I hear what you're saying.
Dig out your really sharp pencil and go through it again.
Okay.
Can you do that for us?
There's only one or two lines I can look at, because you're looking at my budget, it's black.
Well, we're gonna look at your budget now, because I didn't hear anybody say anything about corrections, so,
Nope, moving on.
okay. So we're not making any changes, Scott. Corrections. As of tonight.
Not voting on anything.
I didn't vote on anything,
Yeah,
that's correct.
we will vote on particular line item
Well-
changes, but we don't vote on the budget until after the public hearing. Because that would really disenfranchise the public who did that. So looking at the sheriff's department, I think we'll do the same thing again. Is there any questions from the budget side?
That hasn't
The
been asked.
overtime line
Mhm.
is up proposed to be up $225,000.
That's correct. That's because of, what happened, within the budget cycle that, so we were in.
So the question is, do you really think you have to budget for all of that in the coming year with the advent of more staff.
Well, I believe, and I'll really have to, talk with Scott, bounce some things off and the chief. If it is approved that I get those 2 deputies with all the doodads and hoo-ha's that go with them, all right? I may be able to cut it a little bit, but I'll rely on the recommendations, because Scott is a very good numbers guy on what he has to say and whether that's a good idea, because what we don't want to do is go over on an animal that I cannot control. I don't know anybody else that can control, with staff being out for all various reasons that, I talked about at the last budget meeting, deployments, critical incidents where the deputies are required to be off 30 days, 40 days, 50 days, and you have to backfill all that time. All right? People resigning, taking higher paying costs, or higher paying jobs, and then trying to.
Haven't we helped cure that a little
Well,
bit?
you have, and, I got some great news. I have 2 open positions. Got a condition lock at 1, and I got a blueprint probably coming, in May.
Which means you don't have to train.
No, he's already a cop. We just have to show him how I do things in Kennebec.
So that sounds to me like that position won't require the backfill of as much overtime in terms of the training time that you would have to send a brand new guy out to.
That's correct, but not, but sitting in this room, I have a crystal ball that can predict the future of events that happen to my staff in the jail, on the road. Can't do it.
Just to sort of add on with, Ken was saying, the blue pins come at a cost.
I understand.
And it's like $40,000 to get them. Now, it's great because they don't have to go through the training, but as we ran into this year, he already hired a blue pin and pretty much used up all the money. So now he wants to hire another blue pin, so we're thinking about having to go to fund balance in the general fund, where the fund balance it's okay, but it's not great. So when you hire the blue pins, they come at a cost.
We have a blue pin buyout in the budget.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if it's passed, so if that's approved, that person would,
That's about good for one,
right, that is
not even actually, because I think it's 30 grand, is it? What's it
50.
there? 50? Yeah, we raised it
Yeah.
because this year we had to pay out 38.
right.
And now he wants to hire another one, then it's like, okay, well, you've used everything up.
We're waiting until May 18th because that is a graduation date anniversary where his costs drop. Okay, and about another 10 grand. If we buy him right now, it's 48 change. If I wait till that May date, that's another 10 grand off. But I
It's a blue light special.
I don't know.
I don't think so. It's gonna,
That's the law.
when we do a background check, do everything that we do, which includes a polygraph and psychological exam, we're a month and a half. So between now and that day,
It feels the commitment is
I
there.
think it's there in my.
All right, that's good news.
And save 10 grand.
It's really an honor for you to say people want to work for Kennebec County. Because of the atmosphere that everybody here, what we have in our different departments.
Great thing.
It is an awesome thing.
You used to say repeatedly that the new commissioner over at the state cut the overtime budget and they did just fine. Is that right?
Well, it was a different
Would you
management
say that
style.
of
Yeah.
this?
Yeah, when it was a difference between Commissioner Magnuson and Commissioner Pont.
Yep.
And Pont was had a different management style. So, that's all I can say.
Okay.
But it is true, he reduced it. They weren't happy.
Who's they?
Oh, the Department of Corrections. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I
anyway,
assume that, but I.
I'll work with Scott and we'll get it, we'll try to Scott and we'll get it, we'll try to figure something out for that. I can't promise you anything.
I
guess, Scott.
Yes,
Scott, we talked today, the audit's in, it's gonna be reviewed.
Yep.
What is in the audit, there's a carryover number.
Yeah, I think, is it 170 or
177.
170?
177, and that, you don't get that by departments, you get it as a lump, right?
Yeah, right, everything.
Off the total
everything
budget.
Flows down to
Right.
the general fund. Balance.
177, how do you account for that in this budget?
Well, this year I didn't apply any general fund balance from undesignated because we don't have that one. But if you look at the revenue schedule, we took, I think, 250 from Kara and 250 from opioid to cover jail and also help with the general fund.
What with that, with those deducts, what's left in the general fund?
Well, the 177 would be left. That's not a heck of a lot of money for.
But that's coming in this year, but so it's at zero once you take the 500 out, that you just mentioned?
No.
Okay,
No.
so that's the addition to the fund, but what's the total?
That is the total, 177.
So, not trying to, is that 177,000?
Yeah.
I thought that was that's the carryover. That's the only money that's in the unfunded balance?
Yes.
So we're taking it right down to zero? There's gotta be
So we're not talking about the jail, we're just talking about the general.
a general fund, yes,
We're tenants, okay?
right.
The
No.
jail has their own fund balance.
But the general fund balance,
It is 177,000.
so you've wiped out everything else. So it's down to zero, and if the carryover, will add your 177.
We had a few departments over the last couple of years that have overrun their budget.
Right.
Which basically starts doing this with.
No, I understand. I'm just wondering, I'm looking for a number, but, so it went down to zero because of that.
Yeah, so really, 177 is your number.
And is the jail in that? And
No.
unfunded balance, what is their unfunded balance?
They're
at an audit,
What,
right?
1.7,
How much?
1.7, but we're
Mil?
probably going to ask the commission to move a portion of that over to the general fund.
Yeah, that's not you can do that.
Yeah.
Right.
agreed. Okay. And
I mean, it's all the
question
budget.
I had.
So actually you got like 1.3 or something total available. Okay,
So you have 1.7 million in the jail.
no,
Fund balance.
Yeah, and we turned that around. They were negative before last year.
Right. 1.7 in the jail? I thought it was one of them. Oh, wow, I missed the number.
I'm just gonna correct that because they're not believing me. It's 1.7 million in the jail. It's
Right.
177,000 in the not jail county.
Correct.
Okay,
All set?
so back to, oh no. back to overtime.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. I'm not comfortable with the increase in the overtime and the funding of two new positions, at all. I think the 300 was reasonable, all the things that you stated, because you've had two positions that have been unfilled and now you're gonna have two more to fill. So that's 4 people. It seems like that'll bring you down from that 500-ish that you're going to be at this year, certainly.
And that is certainly a number I can, talk to Scott about how much, to bring that down. And I think we can bring it down some, I believe that, because the extra 2 people are gonna help us with that.
Right.
That's kind of where I was going. My statement.
In theory, if everything works, yes, that should be able to be reduced significantly,
Yes.
in theory.
And I'm comfortable with that. We're getting 2 new deputies, and it's gonna help us. Yeah, it really is. It'll help us in the overtime.
That's what we're.
Well, it'll
Let's
be more
try-
than 2 because you're down 4 currently.
Okay.
So if you can hire all 4 over the course of the year, I know it takes time and training and,
Well, I'm only
We got
down
that.
2 right now.
right,
Okay?
It came back, right?
So the other 2 are potentials.
yes.
Right?
Let's just try an experiment. See if you can squeeze it into 300,000 and then If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but we can experiment.
Well, we can try that, but if,
Yeah.
I have it, that's.
We understand. Yeah, we understand.
We realize that there's,
We're gonna have to fall back on that fund balance.
Yep,
again.
okay.
So. But again, I would really want to show it to Scott and get a recommendation from him.
Okay.
All right.
There's-
Questions? Can, there's a line, and I don't know what it is, but there's a line in the organization that's drawn that people below that get the opportunity for overtime and those, okay. But, and so somebody that's at the top, that right before they break into not being able to, they would be your more senior patrolman, whatever the rank would be, right? I mean, I don't know, sergeant or whatever, I don't. Yeah. But if they go into overtime, it's 1.5 times their salary versus 1.5 times patrolman. There's, which is, I'm sure, a different, but everybody is on a list, so you have to go through the list in order by the way it's negotiated, or can you?
Anybody that's part of a bargain unit is eligible for overtime, to work overtime. If you're not part of the bargain unit.
They can't, I mean, they don't, right?
He's wondering.
But
For the priority.
can you limit the overtime for those that are paid more than the patrolman? I guess is where I'm.
No.
Oh, okay.
It would be a grievance so fast.
Yeah, no, that's what I asked. I wouldn't. I'm just reaching.
Now, that being said, when we hire part-time deputies, it's a lot cheaper to work a part-time deputy in a slot. Because there's no benefits, they're just wage.
Right.
Those are far and few between. Right now, you might have one.
Yeah, you don't have the 40% over.
Yeah, that's a good saving, but well, that's also a calculated risk. You put someone who's trained minimally, part-time certification in a zone by himself. Yes, he's got help, but that help might be 20 minutes away.
Yeah, no, I assumed that was the answer. I just wanted to clarify to make sure. Thank you.
Okay.
So, Ray, I'm going right against what you were saying before. But it came up, so I think we need to discuss it, and it was the wage compression issue that you brought up, Chris. You talked about it already earlier. I don't know if that's why you're standing up there. I
I have not had a chance yet to speak with the commission about that, so I don't know if I can discuss that now or not.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I wanted to give it a shot because you had talked about the fact that, you know, like a sergeant is going to make more than a lieutenant. And what are we going to do about that? And is that something we want to address this year, or is that something we feel the commissioners will take care of in the next?
We don't know if that's the case until they get union resolved. Right.
It's not a union thing. This is,
Yes.
Must be completely separate from the jail. Their union contract has been negotiated, so they know what they're getting.
Thank you.
Jails
Right.
is not, so.
I think we have addressed that in this budget, okay, but not moving really forward, looking ahead, because it's gonna continue to get more compressed. Whereas if go with the recommendations, which is a little more than what's there, that the chief put out, it's gonna open it up a little bit, so that it won't be such a big bite the next year.
okay,
But as far as the lieutenant sergeant issue, that's been addressed in the budget. That takes care of that. So the lieutenant is just.
that is in this article.
Yes,
Okay,
that's the base pay.
yes,
That doesn't include the time and a half, the sergeant, and it should, because myself, the chief, and the good lieutenant are on salary. Whether we work 70 minutes or 70 hours in a week, it's the same check that comes in every week. And we know that. But
We can discuss the memo if you like. Just hit it real quick. It's up to you. I don't think.
no, I think we're good. I think
we're
the
fine.
answer you gave is
I
clear.
think you quit it.
could I address this real quick before I have to go?
Yeah.
And the line item for the copier,
1075, 7350. Office equipment.
Second from the bottom.
Office equipment, bottom, yeah.
okay, Now, I put 7,500 in there as a placeholder. And the copier people finally got back to us last week, or like on Thursday or Friday, the week before, with a cost. So it's 7,500 for a refurbished copier. Okay, you know, we've had that copier since I've been sheriff, which is 9 years, 2 months, and 11 days. Okay.
Photos count.
And since that time, we've been keeping it together with baling twine and duct tape. And I think we'd really like to have a new one, which is 12,000. But I'd like to ask for 13,000 for any other, you know, it's really a $5,500 more for that line. That was only a placeholder. So I would like to put that 13,000 in place of that 7,500. Now I know that. That's the only line, so then I'm gonna talk about. Okay, I just. You and the person got me.
Well, chewing gum and. Yeah, sounds like we should be down something bad.
So that's only my request in this budget, of all our budget.
Well, yeah, if they're gonna reduce the overtime. Sure.
Yeah, make that trade-off.
So I'm gonna write the number down. It's A 001 1075 -7350.
Right.
It's office equipment. Someone gonna make this motion?
13,000.
I need a person to make it.
I'll make it.
I'll second it.
Whoa.
Well.
And what's-
But I'm hoping there's incentive there for the overtime.
And again, that's something that we'll find a number
I know.
that we'll feel comfortable bringing it down to.
Okay,
John, what's your motion?
I'll make a motion that we increase line A 1075 office equipment from 7,500 to 13K.
Second.
any further discussion? Then, all in favor? Unanimous.
So, and since.
I wouldn't try again.
It's not an increase, okay, it's an increase in the number of the cars we're gonna get, we normally get 6. Which is what I put in there in replacement for vehicles, but adding up the 2 new deputies, that's 2 more cars, that should actually be 8. We're not changing the money number at all.
How'd you do that?
Well, because you hire a new deputy, there's a bunch of different lines that are affected, payroll, uniform, cars, equipment. And all of those lines have been adjusted.
I think he means, how did you go from 6 to 8 without changing the money?
That's
Well,
exactly.
we did change the money. Instead of $307,500,
It's
6.
already up. He just didn't adjust the number.
Right, the actual number of cars that we're hoping to get, it's going from 6 to 8.
But the money.
Have one.
The money is right in there,
Okay.
promise you.
One more.
And one final question, the percentage increases for the union positions, which are sergeant, patrol deputies and detectives, which I expect, are those percentages what were negotiated? And they're significant.
It was all negotiated, between the commissioners and FOP and our county attorney and Scott were involved. And July 1, it's a $5 bump across the board for all FOP members.
So if I remember correctly, it was 4% they're working under currently in this fiscal year. It's $5 per hour in the next one, and then it's 4.7 the next year.
Yeah.
Well, I don't care about, I mean, I care about it the next 2 years, but I'm looking at increases of 47 to 13 in percentage.
Depends on the employee.
It's because they did a $5 per hour raise. They didn't.
But that's not
47%.
47%.
Yeah, but that plus step increases, you know, it gets compounded by the step increases. So
Wow,
you think
okay.
you might be negotiating a percentage, and you can count on it being 2 to 3% higher than you expected.
And it's a small amount in terms of,
No, it isn't.
relative to the budget, isn't it?
Oh,
But the variance there.
no, it's $1.5 million. I mean, that's the budget.
Gotta happen.
It's, yeah, $500,000.
Did I answer your question?
There's not much you can do.
Sounds like yeah. If those are the negotiated, then yes, you've answered it. Just seems like
How many detectives are we talking about in this one?
We have Detective Bork, Detective Sergeant Mills, and we have Detective Paul Azzotti and Detective Bickford. Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
very good. Thank you, Rick. Thank you for submitting yourself to this indignity. We appreciate it.
Captain, he wants me to repo and doing with that or not.
Oh,
Yes.
that's a good question. I knew there was something dispatch.
Do we want to do that now or later?
Let's do it now. Yes, dispatch.
Oh,
Yes.
Yes, yes.
This isn't really a budgetary thing, correct?
It is not budgetary thing. I don't know, it's a full service thing.
Yeah,
This has nothing to do with the budget we're talking about tonight.
right.
Like you told us, numbers.
We need to know.
Yeah.
I'll try to round this out as fast as I can.
Yeah.
Currently, we run a records management system that's been around since 1998. It's worth good, but it's starting to have some bumps in the road. And getting support for it is like pulling teeth at times, because there's nobody around that knows about it.
Yeah.
So when you call down to Massachusetts and start a ticket for a problem, sometimes you're better off to email. It sits, and it's just, they don't get to it because it's so low on their totem pole. They just wait and wait. And sometimes you get somebody that's, hold on, let me try to research that for you. They don't have any idea. 1998, they did. I went to Massachusetts, learned how to use it. That was back in the day. That was good stuff. Nowadays, not so much.
And what's that system called?
It's called IMC.
Thank you.
So
Information management.
So we've been doing research as well as all the other agencies in Kennebec County about what are we gonna do? Because a lot of them use it. The only ones in Kennebec County that don't are Winthrop and Monmouth. So it's now called, the new records management system is called ProSuite. And we all go in together, we get a much discounted rate versus an individual entity getting it. So all of the agencies have been collaborating together, saying, all right, we need to work this out. This is what we need to do. And this allows us to talk to each other. So I can see what's going on in Oakland and Waterville, all the other agencies that use it. And it allows for good communication, which should be the goal of law enforcement entity anyway. So the state, once they learned this, advised us, we're not gonna dispatch for you, because I'm not gonna make my dispatchers learn another program. Because the director there now, Mike Labby, this is the fourth system that he's on, that he's had to learn since being with the state. The state, if they see something that's nice, oh, we gotta have it. Well, the state has one. They'll just switch record management system.
I had a lot of money.
So this is the fourth system that they're on right now. They're using Spillman at the state level. And that's the fourth system he's had to learn since he's been there for 12 years. I don't think that's a good way to do business, to keep switching systems, because you gotta buy it every time you switch. You gotta purchase it. Then you gotta train everybody to use it. You gotta pay for everything, all these add-ons. It's just not cost efficient. So we're looking to go to this records management system called ProSuite. Albeit, we've been working closely with Augusta PD on this. And minute that I've learned that the state was not interested in dispatching for us, I called down there because that's where I retired from. And I supervised that division for 12 years. I said, hey, we're in a bad way. If we get thrown out of the state, we need help. What can you do? So this has been going on for like a year and a half, 2 years. And Augusta came to us with a quote. And that's all this is. We're just looking at it. It's a quote. The council has not seen this, I don't believe they might know about it, but they haven't really seen much. Because it's work in progress. The increase, there was a significant increase because of the way the formula was done, was based on population based and call volume. 75% was based on the population of the town, 25% based on the call volume. And so Augusta ran the numbers, figured out we need 5 people to cover Kennebec County dispatch. Came up with a quote. Now this quote is significantly higher than what towns have been getting billed. That being said, I talked with Director Labby this morning, and he was in a meeting, but he hasn't got back to me yet with the results of that meeting. He says, I've learned that a lot of the towns aren't being billed correctly. Some towns are getting just a law enforcement bill, but not getting the 911 surcharge bills, and the EMD bills and the EMS stuff. He said, it's all over the place, and it's a mess.
Oh, shit. Pardon me, so.
No, but yes,
So
it
this
is
is
what it
gonna,
is. Mr. Labby's a pretty sharp guy. He used to work at Augusta back in the day, and he's pretty sharp. And he's like, I gotta figure this out. So he's in the process of collecting all the contracts from all the towns that receive services from the state. Trying to figure out who's paying what are you paying for? Are you getting the 911 bill? Are you getting the dispatch bill? EMD?
is this ever gonna reach a point where somebody says, this is crazy to have such a different system and a difference for all these different services? Why can't we dispatch everything within one place?
Yeah, I don't know if my lifetime will see it.
Could we do that? Could we do some kind of a survey that's established what the most cost effective system is rather than looking at it one section at a time?
That'd be great, but I don't think I'll ever see it.
I know, but it just seems like we're just spending more and more money and more time. I wanted to go rattle. We haven't got the money. We haven't got the money.
So have we actually changed over to ProSuite?
We have not.
So we haven't, are we financially committed to ProSuite?
No, we're not.
Okay.
Would this be for the 27-28 budget maybe?
Perhaps. Trying to coordinate it so we switch. So that we don't do dispatching services and switch to this system all at the same time.
Right.
I think you'd be asking for a lot of headaches and it's a lot more money all at once. It'd be better to do it separately. You do one or the other first, I suspect. I would rather go to have dispatching services there first and be in place, have the people trained, ready to go. Then say, all right, here comes the claims management system, which ties into the CAD that dispatchers use. It's all tied together. I think that'd be a lot more efficient and use funds that way.
Fish it in this constrained sense.
Yeah.
It only looks at one part of the problem. See the real problem.
Question.
Bonnie and Waterville, we're trying to get some federal funds to support this project. But that's been going on for over a year.
Question. You mentioned to take 5 dispatchers. What would the state then, with the state's handling it now, the levy, what would he get rid of? How many would he get rid of?
He
How
would,
many does he have now?
yeah, he wouldn't hire because he's down 9. So he would just,
But he's handling it. I mean, whatever.
Probably with overtime.
yeah, they've been bringing in troopers and stuff to sit at the dispatch consoles because they just don't have enough people. You can only work them so much. And so they're like, hey, state police, if you've got any troopers who want overtime, come in and work the desk because they're cops. They don't know how to run a radio. Teach them how to type on the computer. They're all good. But that's a lot of money because the troopers get paid.
We need to get back to this. Didn't we?
Yeah, we are,
I understand that, but
yeah, well, we understand the problem.
This is
Thank you for the update.
Yeah, that's a quick hit on it.
Good, yeah.
Well, the piece that we found out about last week from Devin is that we would have to increase the servers here. At a significant cost of a couple $100,000 plus. So that's additional to, I mean, that's a county cost then. This other would be billed from Augusta to the county to the towns instead of from the state to the town. So.
That's accurate.
Okay, good. Thank you much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, let's see, next one.
Did anyone have anything else on the first department? Okay. So that's
We're
one.
gonna wait on the number. Okay.
So next is executive. Is that in with administration on the same one?
I got DA now.
Yeah.
Tab 6.
Sorry. So one thing we had from last week was a change from probate and DA on the security line. So we need to, let's take care of that one first.
1015 40 81. 1070 40 81.
1070 40 81.
That's probate line.
Professional services, security.
And the DA's line is 1015 40 81.
Okay, hang on. So
Right above
whose
transport.
line is the 40 81 and 70?
Probate.
1070. What's the one for the DA?
1015 40 81.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, and we're switching.
Yes,
Let's see, I know you guys explained, someone explained this to me. We're doing Shay, you did. Is it like 5% a year? We're swapping off until we get down to 50/50?
yeah, based off the Merrill's numbers, Kevin supplies them to us at the end of the year, and showed us that there were, basically it was 4,392 people coming in for probate, versus 731 for the DA's office, because a lot of our stuff is online. And so, God told Rhonda and I to talk about it because it was a 70-30 split. And so we, sat down, discussed it, and we thought that we would, over a few years, get it so that it's even. So it's a 50-50 split based on there are more people in the DA's office, but more people coming in for probate. So, we thought this year that we would go to 65-35 and then increase, decrease until we get to 50-50.
And right now, the larger percentage is the DA office.
Correct.
Okay,
So what does that do? What numbers is
Sure.
that change?
So, for 1015 40 81, it should be, 124 670.
is that the current
1,000?
number or that's what it's
Yeah,
going to
That's
be?
what it's going to be.
Shay,
Yeah.
the number that you have, we remember when we thought that it was off a little bit.
Yep.
48.
So number of the contract,
I have 191.
800.
900.
191 900
It's 136 245.
and now 800.
So it's, for the district attorney, it's 124 735
New or old?
new,
Versus the 136 249.
yes,
Okay,
124, tell me again.
735.
136 2. Okay, and what are the probate numbers?
67 160
Okay, 67 155 is the new.
165.
67 165. That'll be the new amount.
Correct.
When we
What's the
get there.
current amount?
Can I just complain about the contract too, the price?
In a minute, yes.
Okay.
So it's 124 735. No, hold on.
No, that's the new DA.
Yeah, hold on.
I can look it
Well, I
up.
changed it in the model. So.
136 249 is what
Should
it's
be on
on.
the sheet.
That was the DA. I
It
need
is.
the probate.
Oh,
original
sorry.
number.
I don't know, we're not on that.
I can find it in a minute.
Yeah, it's on the sheet.
Okay, probate is 10. I can find 4081.
55 651.
No, it's.
Yeah, that's what she, that's the.
Just remember when we get there, we.
Okay, I have it currently at 55 651.
Yes.
So this is to cost share differently. That's the reason we're doing this. Is there someone who would like to make a motion?
I move that we
One at a time.
so I move that we reduce the district attorney's line item for 1015-4081, 124,735. Somebody second that?
I'll second.
Charlie,
Okay.
second, thank you.
And, no discussion, right? We ready to go? Yes, we have discussed it. So we're all set? We're unanimous, good?
Right.
And then we'll just look forward to yeah, which one is,
Tab 6,
All right.
9. But it's, you're increasing it to
Yep.
67,165.
Which one is that? I'm sorry.
It's 1070,4081.
goes to 65.
67,165.
Yes, I'll second that motion.
Okay, good. All clear? All in favor? All right, good. Anything now, you wanted to,
I just wanted to say that, you know, the contract is $191,900 for the year. And we love having security. Kevin does a fantastic job. But Kevin's, and this includes some extra job salary, is $110,000. This company's getting nearly $82,000 just for us to have the pleasure of doing business with them. I think that's kind of the raise.
It must have to cover his benefits. I'm assuming.
Yes, and I understand
So it's
benefits.
40%.
Mileage.
Wow, I can't believe I'm going on this route. 40% of 110 is about, call it 50. So that's 160. So they're still getting $31,000 for the privilege of doing business with us.
I don't know. It's that much, it's that little, but I just find it a lot. Well, I'm cheap, so.
should we, request that we reviewed, or is that, phase
That's not
finished?
Well, we reviewed that at length last year with the sheriff.
Yes.
And his problem. So it's Merrill's investigation, right? So if their employee is out, they have another employee who just fills in. Right. And it's seamless. And if Ken has to cover it with a sheriff's deputy,
It's overtime.
then it's either it's overtime or it's finding someone who doesn't have. Well, it's probably overtime because you're not gonna
Yeah,
have a part-time person waiting around to do that.
They're not, there is, but
And so it.
most likely wouldn't be used.
Although I've learned that in other counties, they do use sheriff's deputies for their coverage. Is that correct?
Yes. I know Lincoln does for sure.
April flowers.
Yeah.
What are we paying the consultant?
191,900.
192,000.
Even hours you're open.
Correct.
Well, plus, an extra hour, for the drive there and home and mileage.
Gets paid to drive and he gets mileage.
But he signed a good
It's like a good
contract.
deal.
Hire a contractor,
Yeah, I mean,
pay
is
for travel.
Yeah.
that a one-year
Dan,
contract?
this is coming back around to you.
3-year contract?
Yes, versus the contractor.
I think this is the,
The numbers are.
That'd be the third year,
yeah, I think it
It's
is.
not, it's.
because I remember being on the budget committee when we talked about it.
When you approve it, yeah.
So
What
whether you're
what
on
is decided, what do we decide to do about that?
I guess we'll leave it as is, but I would
They can help it on
I'd like-
the reviews.
Wow, I'd like to see
like
him
an
tighten the
alternative.
scope for bid, when they bid it again, tighten the
Right.
scope up.
Should be bid. Except for your bid.
Joe, you,
Usually it is an RFP process.
Joe's awake over it.
And you can specify.
Looking for-
Mileage paid. Okay,
I'm big on all these contracts. Any contract that's over the state limit, it's got to be bid. We should, the commissioner should see what these bids are.
okay, what's next?
Make sure it's done.
We're still on the DA.
yeah, I will say that,
Oh, that's right.
I will say under state law, this is a professional services agreement.
Tough one.
Under state law, this is a professional services agreement, not a contract for a commodity. So it does not have to be bid. It can go through direct procurement if it's so choose. But I agree with you, they got it.
So we can go out and try to find people.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but I agree with you, it should be an RFP with spreadsheet undoubtedly.
Okay, one.
So, Megan, did you want to come up and present the thing you gave to us? Sure. Or Shay? Over to the podium. Right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, thank you. Good to see everyone tonight. I'm happy to answer any questions about any particular lines. But the changes that I'm requesting the budget committee to consider are on the two lines that I pointed out. Line 10, 15, 3,000, which is to move $10,000 to be added for the purpose of giving a raise to Shay Freeman. In the chart that you have showing the department heads and what department heads make in other counties, Shay's the only department head not included on that chart. And so I think it makes sense to really compare her to what other people in the county are getting, to consider her 16 years of service, 12 years of service in this position, and to look at a similar position right here in the county, the head clerk at the court. It has a starting salary of 89,000 and it goes up to 114,000. So, which is something I've also got printed out if anyone wants a copy of it. She's incredible. I mean, she can do every job in the office. And I just don't know what we would do without her. So it hurts my heart to see that others are getting bigger raises and why not Shay? It seems like she should also be getting an additional raise like other people are. She's the person, the go-to person for everything, and she can do every single job in our office. I pass out a job description so you can see how precise and difficult the work is. I mean, part of her job is finance, right? She runs our extradition account. She handles forfeitures. She handles our freedom of access requests. She handles it as well as overseeing the entire office. So it's a difficult job to categorize. I think that's probably why she's not in that chart. And just requesting, so that was my first request.
Is that 10,000 on top of what was already proposed? Or is it 10,000 total?
I think it's a total, right? Yes.
Okay, so what we have is it was 78,793, so you'd be looking for 88,793. Okay,
Yes,
so it's not 10,000 more from what's on this list.
correct.
About 7,300.
Yeah.
Plus the 2,700.
7242 increase.
Did you want me to say?
7242, John?
Yes.
Thank you.
Megan, how many people does Shay, and I think it's fair to ask you the questions, and how many people does she supervise?
It depends on how you answer the question. So there's 35 people in the office. Half of, let's see, 12 of those are attorneys. Right. So she's the direct supervisor of the ones who aren't the attorneys. But do the attorneys come to her all the time? Every time there's an issue? Absolutely. So I definitely see the argument that she's really supervising more like 35. But the people who aren't attorneys are officially 15 people.
Yeah, she doesn't do their review.
Correct. I do the reviews for the attorneys and Shay does the review for the 15 people that are the victim witness advocates, legal secretaries, paralegals, and DVIs, domestic violence investigators, in restitution center.
So just to follow up on that, would it be fair to say that Shay supervises their process, the attorney's process, but not the attorneys per se?
Yes.
Manages their process.
Yes,
Yeah.
manages their process. So
Yes.
when they have an issue, their computer doesn't work.
Mhm.
They can't log in. there's a heat issue, there's cell phones, everything. People always go to Shay and say, fix this. I want to sit to stand desk. And will you get that in the budget? I need a different chair, my back's hurting. She gets all of it. It doesn't matter if they're an attorney or not.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to increase the wages by 7,242 on line A001, 1015, 3000. Bringing the total to 88,793.
Second.
I'll second it.
Do we want Lloyd or John?
Oh, I don't care.
Okay, I heard Lloyd first.
Works.
Okay,
Anybody need to request discussion?
Not for me, no.
Okay.
you asking for a vote?
After a vote? Here we go. Okay, and
7-0.
unanimous.
You have another request?
Yes, one other request. So it was kind of a snafu that happened with the domestic violence investigators because I gave you their job description as well. I'm their supervisor. They work for the Office of the District Attorney. Initially, they were, it started with a grant that Everett Fowle wrote. Then in order to get them to professionalize what they were doing and to make sure that they were meeting all the law enforcement standards, making sure that they were meeting standards that I wouldn't be privy to because I'm not a law enforcement officer. I talked with Sheriff Mason and he was fantastic and agreed that they could be part of his office as well. So he does put in all of their training and their making sure that their certification is correct, but day to day they report to me. So what happened with the union negotiations is I wasn't invited to the union negotiations. So when the increase was given, you heard the sheriff say everyone in the FOP received the same $5 an hour increase. Well, that's true, except for two people. And those two people are the DVIs in my office. So those are the domestic violence investigators that are in my office. So they're the only people that are separate from everybody else. So you have, well, except transport, but with transport, you don't have to be a law enforcement officer who's graduated from the academy, whereas with all the other positions you do. So you've got a detective pay scale and you've got a patrol pay scale. The domestic violence, sexual assault, elder abuse investigators, I shorten it to domestic violence investigators, they're in the same line as patrol. Now, there's an argument to be made, it should be a different line, but I'm not here to get into that. I just want to keep them where they're at. So they're currently on the same line as patrol. I want to keep them on the same line as patrol. As of July 1st, patrol gets a $5 an hour increase and the DVIs only get a $3 an hour increase. So that's why, in order to make that whole, it would require the $8,320 to be added to line 3105, well, 1015 3105. I did check with the union representative. He reminded me that he had actually put in, the union had put in for an even higher increase for them to put them up to a higher line. But that was not accepted by administration. So that was their position, which is it should be even higher. I'm not going for that. This isn't the right forum. I just want to keep them where they're at, which is the same line as patrol so that they be, and that would have to happen with a union sidebar agreement. There's any questions on that?
Which would be allowable.
Well, it's as long as the union said yes.
Right.
So the county would have to say yes and the union would have to say yes. But given that the union had actually asked for more, but they're not going to vote on this unless the money is there to enable them to take the vote.
Scott, do you want to comment? It's up to you. It's a question.
The contract has already been negotiated, so we'd have to open up negotiations in order to accommodate something like this. And, you know, I think there was representation at some of those bargaining sessions. And when we talked to the sheriff and the chief about it, they basically felt that this is not the same type of work as a detective in the sheriff's office. That's what it's being compared to.
And that's why I'm not asking for detective. I'm asking that they stay at patrol. So they're currently at patrol and I just keep them at patrol. And I gave a
They
little
all
bit
got
of
$5.
information on the work they do.
Pardon?
They all got $5, so.
Not in this budget.
But not the DVIs. They
No,
didn't
I know
get the
the
$5.
DVIs did.
Oh, the
Again,
patrolman.
yeah, the patrol got it because the argument was we were gonna lose 5 patrol deputies if we didn't do this. They're the lowest paid in the state, you know how it goes. And
Oh, yeah, no, I know the story.
so, that's.
But, yeah.
But the-
Ms. Molly, what does their badge say?
The badge says detective because I really don't want to
just
start
curious.
that fight though tonight.
No, I know. I'm
because
just,
that's, right, I really just want to
That's-
keep them the same as patrol. Their badge says detective because they're sworn in as a detective by the Attorney General. They have statewide law enforcement jurisdiction. As a result, DVI Christian Bear is currently handling a case, one that started in Kennebec that he's the primary investigator for, that's also went over to Androscoggin County, and he has to go to Androscoggin to testify and to work on that case. He's also got another one that went up to Somerset, another one that spilled over into Penobscot. That statewide jurisdiction allows them to be the primary detective on cases that cross county lines. And so I mean, just the work that they do is extraordinary. And they're focused exclusively on domestic violence, sexual assault, elder abuse, child abuse. Why would we pay them less than patrol? There's no logic behind it. And I will absolutely lose them if they don't, because you are approving additional patrol positions. I know for sure one of them will be applying for those additional patrol positions for sure, if he doesn't get the same increase as patrol. Yeah.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Is it to increase the wage by the requested amount,
Yes, exactly.
8320.
$8,320?
$1,320.
And I'll second that.
Line 10, go ahead.
And I have that as line A0011051015 oh my God.
310.
3105.
We've been at this a long time.
It's fine.
You're doing fine.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, any discussion?
I think we've heard what we need.
All in favor? Okay, good. All right,
Is there anything else in the DA's you need me to address?
I think so.
Now we
Go to
can go
executive.
to.
Thank you very much for getting welcome.
The next two tabs are executive and administrative. I'll enter in Mike's comments just for the board to be reminded from earlier today. He says Scott Ferguson has a secretary and our district attorney who runs 2 counties does not. The person in charge of deeds does not have a secretary, nor does probate court. Does HR need, is HR part of administrative? Does HR need 4 people? How many finance people do we really need? We've been told that they have 4 also or more. We have computers that do quite well, so why do we have 4 people in finance? Scott Atkins, are you in this budget or are you in a separate one?
No, that's in the
Okay, I'll save his comment for you later. Those were not my comments. I'm just sharing. I told Mike I would share.
Right.
I would say some of these questions are bigger than just the budget. And while they have some merit, I think we should suggest that they be reviewed over the summer and over the fall because we can't handle them right now. They've got some merit, but they may be perfectly good answers. And we think it should be reviewed. Anybody disagree with that?
What questions are you speaking
Well,
about?
these
Like
questions.
how many people do
Oh,
we
Mike-
need in finance,
Mike's
et cetera?
Yeah.
Mike's question.
Gotcha.
So I have a specific, nobody answered, so I assume that we agree with Lloyd. I have I don't remember the explanation for professional services and legal under executive going up $25,000. Was that just a transfer from somewhere else?
No, our legal fees have increased.
Okay. Did you talk about that already? And
I did, yeah.
I'm forgetting.
We've got.
Sorry.
Got one lawsuit.
Yeah.
That's been ongoing. That the attorneys engaged in, and also all the other stuff, they reviews all the contracts. The request of the commission. So, a lot of time involved.
Okay,
Okay,
I'm good on that.
good.
Anybody else on executive?
Scott, can I ask a question? Just clarify for me this, all the movement of the health insurance numbers that we see in these budgets. You tried to explain that once before and I guess it went by me.
It used to all be down in one line at like the bottom of the budget benefits. So we're just moving them up into the different departments that are incurring the cost, but we had no history. So what we're trying to do now is to zero in on what those numbers are. But as people change plans and things like that, it's sort of a moving target. And I know for administration, I lowballed it, so I'm gonna overrun this year. But there are other departments that I'm gonna, overrun, but there are other departments that are gonna underrun. So that needs to be fine tuned and I'll work with Director Atkins on that as we move forward. But I think if you look at it all, it's probably a wash.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
How many people are in this budget? This is just executive. I see
Monthly.
commissioners are the only,
We have 180 employees on average.
Yeah, but I think he's.
no, in this budget.
In finance, is there just one employee? No. I mean, in executive,
Yeah, an executive,
Executive, there are three.
there's
just the commissioners, right?
the treasurer's not in that?
No,
Has his own budget.
it's the only,
Okay.
so sensitive as it is, I'm gonna ask about health insurance. And we've got,
I think I sent you guys a breakdown of that.
I didn't. Of health insurance?
Yeah, remember you had asked for all the different components by department, and I sent an email with that and a few
I
others.
wasn't at the first meeting.
Yeah, but it was an email that went out.
No,
So I can find it and resend it.
well, let me ask a question. See if you did. I mean, we've got a large sum under health insurance and then also payment in lieu of taking health insurance. I understand that one. So somebody's not taking the health plan.
You get a payout.
So you get a payout. Which means that we're paying 4 times for the health insurance, what we're paying for the payout. Is that right? But,
Yeah, I think I don't know. I have to look at them.
well, I can give you the numbers. If the number in the budget for health insurance would be $48,000. And 6,000 in the payment in lieu. Seems like a huge differential. Whether, my question would be whether we actually took the third commissioner out of the 48,000. I mean, that's, I mean,
You don't do that in your school, I did on the school budget all the time. We asked.
that's more than your pay.
I understand that.
Okay,
I don't make the figures for health insurance, but concept of pay in lieu.
well, I understand that concept. I agree with it wholeheartedly.
That help us save the budget. We made money on the pay in lieu.
I agree. My question is, we've got two commissioners with a $48,000 health insurance bill, if that's the case. And that seems a bit rugged. Pardon?
So,
I don't think it can everything these days.
yeah, okay, so this sort of gets back to where we're fine tuning, okay? So let me see, we're proposing right now for the commission. So
47,198.
they're currently at 3,000, so they're probably gonna come in right around that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you look at the prior actuals, it kind of goes into, I mean,
So we can cut some money out of that. Is what you're telling me.
Yeah, well, I'm not so sure about
no,
that.
Wait,
We have to leave the 47 in, even when the 23 is more realistic?
right.
So if, right now, we're at about we're at about 1,036,000. That's as of January.
What's that number?
So that's the January year-to-date number
For what?
for healthcare.
Oh, I'm just talking about this,
This one line.
well, I'm talking about this one line. I'll give you the line number.
Well, you're talking about executive?
Yes,
The 48.
Okay, so we told you that at January year-to-date, they're at 23,000.
so,
So 48's not an exact figure.
So 47's not really overly unrealistic.
so that's the,
Given the fact
That's
that there's
half a
also
year.
about a 9% increase in health insurance premiums.
okay, so that's the health insurance premium for two commissioners. But
The third one does what?
Does in lieu.
payment in lieu.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, you're satisfied?
now I got an answer.
Okay, good.
Okay, administration then is the next one.
Anything there?
Scott, you let us know that you did have a raise approved,
Yep.
and what was that at?
3.5.
And that's what was in here already?
No, that's the
No.
COLA.
No.
That's in there now.
Okay, so it's gonna be a total of 7.
Okay.
So we need to move that, correct?
We agree with it.
Well, okay.
I mean, I'm just saying that it's any line item. We don't have to accept anything.
Well, what is the resolution on this? We should, it'd
They
be,
just approved a contract.
right?
Don't we have to fund it?
Are you under a contract?
So the variance should be,
So what you're
Twice with
saying
that.
is we have no choice in this matter. There's
9672.
no number we can change this to. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying that.
Commissioners? Are we locked into this number with the additional?
It's a contract number. Whether it's,
Well, if they've signed a contract, if we're locked into it, that's what I'm asking.
right,
yeah,
Commissioners don't sign a contract. Well, somebody signed a damn contract.
We don't sign a
I
contract
don't have
this
to-
year, right?
It's an election. You get elected or not.
Well, you didn't sign.
no. For employment contract, we're
For
talking
me,
about.
Joe,
Right.
for me.
yeah.
We're talking about for Scott. That's what I was trying to say. Commissioners don't have.
Right, no, I know you don't. we're talking,
Scott has a contract.
We have to sign that we're going to give him that 3% this year, 3.5 for an increase in his salary. And then come July, he'll get the 3.5 increase for COLA, like everybody else.
Scott, in here, it had the 3.5 COLA, was it 4,836? Is that the same for this? The dollar amount, so
No.
It might be a little bit more.
no, because you gotta add the 4836 and then
right.
to the salary and then do the 3.5.
So do you
Like-
want to get that for us and we'll do that one next week? That'll be on 3/18.
Yeah, 3,100, 10/22, 3,100.
Okay,
Um. Anybody else, anything on administrative? Next one over is, did we get to Matt's? No, we got to facilities.
Yep.
Okay.
There he is, he's sitting in the back row.
Hi.
yeah, put the head
Yeah,
down.
then I'm proud of the,
So it's 20 minutes after we had decided, we had said we'd get this meeting for, right?
No,
Was it-
7 o'clock. It's six,
Say, we're here. I don't want to make,
it's 6:50, so. go into
keep
that.
going.
All right,
Yeah. Well, and you're
Got
not
10
gonna be
minutes,
here at the
Dan.
next meeting, so if we have a chance to finish up and be a few minutes over, we can take.
Much better.
See if people.
Thanks, Devin. That's good.
Um,
No.
so Dan, we're not talking about capital right now. We're talking, we're talking about what's in here, and I just want to double check, the maintenance journeyman is the new position.
Correct.
That's in here at the 70,190.
Correct.
And all of the benefits and employer taxes and everything have been included as well. Okay. Anybody have,
Lines, right there.
yeah,
Yeah,
They're on separate lines. They're
Yeah.
not part of the 70.
right.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, they're on separate.
They're in the budget, yes.
So they're in there.
so does anyone have anything that they want to change or ask Dan about?
okay,
No, I think you substantiated the need for that.
I think
Yeah.
we-
Rationalization.
Through it with our meetings,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean.
The $50,000 figure that you have thrown in, actually, it's 100,000.
Correct. And that was, readjusted. It's not really, if you look at the final line, it's not really an addition, a full 50 addition. It was readjusted from other lines that were coming
Okay,
in
so
less.
it's a
I
combination.
think that was the total, Scott? Is that, it was fully adjusted out of the budget that was already there? The additional 50 in the capital improvement.
Yeah, there's a new piece on electricity that we covered,
Correct,
so, yeah.
correct. Yeah, so, yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah.
Just for others in the room, we did meet yesterday with Scott Atkins for an hour and a half-ish and talked about capital.
And Devin.
Very productive.
And Dan.
And Dan, sorry.
And Dan.
We actually sat in a
And Audrey.
circle.
Charlie
instead
and
of in a
Devin.
row. It was really nice.
Round table discussion.
Yeah.
yeah.
And,
Just
it
a word.
worked out very well.
Yep.
Any changes here? Okay, let's
I
go
didn't
on.
have any.
Nope. I think,
Oh, we did that in under 10 minutes.
Ken's gonna be mad. He's the only one we grilled while he was up there.
we had to go through those.
But you made a friend of it, so.
So Rhonda just left from probate and passed us a note. She has a employee that is resigning. And the new employee is going to cost about $1.50 an hour less. And so she had asked, I think previously, during her presentation, for us to raise the salary on the deputy registrar. That was the line, right?
Yes.
Yes, okay, and she wants it to be 65,000.
Yes.
Is that 65,000 even?
Yes.
So do you have the amount, because of, if we're gonna consider doing, so anyway, her budget is already at negative 1.2%. So she found money within. And is now finding a little more. And she says, and maybe Audrey, you can verify this, that it's gonna balance out more or less,
Not quite.
not quite close.
Close.
Pretty close.
If we're going to raise 60995, to the 65. The 65 is in here, right? But is that what she's talking, or she's?
The
her
65
request
is not in there, the 60,
995 is,
right.
and she wants 15% on top of that? Is that what
Right,
you said?
because the deputy registrar is essentially doing the same thing as the registrar. I think it's a similar situation to Megan and Shay. That's how it was explained.
Yeah, I think that's pretty.
So the increase is $4,005, is that correct?
Yes. That looks like.
And what is the decrease? The new person is the decrease?
3060.
It's from 2703 an hour plus an increase in wage of 3.5.
And has the new person been approved?
Well,
She didn't
ask
say-
you,
It's a replacement.
Yeah, just backfilling a position.
At 2550,
not a new position, it's a new hire
new hire.
in an existing position. I don't know.
Has that occurred or is that in process?
I think it's in process.
Has Stacy left the building yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm unaware of any payroll change.
Actually, look.
Well, what should we do?
We can just do, we can move it. It's fine. We don't have to change the other one.
Well, it can't come unless
So-
payroll change notice is signed by the
I
commission.
move we change line 1065-3100.
Nope,
No.
3100.
1070.
For any resignation.
You're indeed,
Third one down.
go back a page, back a tab.
I can't, we want to be very good, wouldn't we?
Okay,
Okay, what you move it, you have the right numbers.
Yeah, I got the right number. Line A001-1070-3100 deputy registrar to 65,000.
That's what's in here.
60,995.
No,
No, she wants 15% on top of the 6995.
He's asking for.
no, she
Didn't
wanted,
she?
no, she wanted 65,000 as a total salary.
That's what's in here.
No, it's 6.
Oh, got you. I'm reading my own notes.
That's good, that's good. You're on
Good, I
top of
can-
this.
I
Is that
can
a
read.
second? Is that a second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Second.
Who made the motion?
Ray,
Ray did.
Okay.
and this is, $2,000. Okay, so I have the motion. And
You okay with
want to ask if there's discussion?
Any discussion?
that?
None?
That is,
Hands up for support or otherwise? Fine.
Unanimous. Is there anything else in probate? We already did, I'll just remind you, we did the professional services here, which was the swapping of the percentage with the DA's office.
Just one to follow that. That's it.
IT, yep. Anybody have any questions for IT? Any changes you want to make? Questions to ask?
Well, I'm gonna go back to what I said to the sheriff. These two raises that are at the top of this section are pretty large and hard to justify in my mind. That's my opinion.
Well, everything I read says that the technology sector is pretty hot these days. And I know my son works for for a place like that down in Massachusetts. But he works to a place on that, where wages are wild, they're just wild.
IT does a great job for us. That department.
Yeah, there's no question about it. So,
HR made that recommendation, so, of those raises.
and they're not as severe as some of the other.
I don't know about that.
50%, yeah.
The total above the COLA for the two of them is $12,000. That's pretty significant in my mind.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, no doubt it's.
Any views on this one way or another? Well, let's make a motion then,
No, we don't need,
We don't need a motion to,
we don't.
We just leave
we're not gonna change it, yeah. Okay.
Scott, are you the only employee with a contract, employee contract?
Matt, now we can go to deeds.
DH Charter Restaurant has.
Walk up.
No, I don't think so. But you said last week that we could drop 2,000 out of office equipment.
Yeah.
We still all right with that?
Yeah.
Because we never turned down an opportunity to do that. So this is a 001-1065.
7350.
7350 office equipment. And it's going from 5,500 to 3,500.
Yep.
Is there someone who wants to make a motion?
I'll make that motion. Reduce, what, you want me to read the whole thing or you
Just
can
tell me what you're gonna do.
Um,
Reduce.
make a motion that we reduce that line item by the $2,000 as requested by the department head?
And I'll second it.
Again, further discussion? That's it? Okay, good. Next is.
Slowly back.
Oh, man. Well, you get the prize. You're the only one with a budget reduction, right?
So far.
Yeah.
Now we're on, well, I guess we should, is anyone opposed to staying for a few more minutes?
No.
Let's go.
Who wants?
Just go.
Okay, so,
So want to just
No.
see what we
Yeah, oh, yeah.
finish?
Yep.
Okay,
I'll come back to.
now we're on to finance. Anybody have anything here? It's up 1.5 total.
Mike had some.
Mike had some comments. Let's see what Mike's comment was. Oh, I forgot to read his comment. He was in favor of the DVIs having the raise to the patrol deputy level.
well, good.
He wrote that Scott was hired at 107,000 a few months ago. We had budgeted for 97. Seems to me he already has a $10,000 raise. He's just going back to when is enough enough.
That 97 was a part-time person, right, Scott? The difference in the salary.
She was full-time, but the qualifications between the two candidates are extremely different.
I'm sorry, I still can't support 3.5% more. Can't do it. At 107, actually it's 107.5 if I remember your
Yeah.
correctly.
So I just have a couple of quick comments, because I've been sitting here watching, and as you all know, in working with me. Which actually, first comment, number one, should be look at the progress we've made with the team that's built to help carry this county. Your finance, your administrative, and now HR, which is the new, kind of the sort of the new flavor for expanding, are your central nervous system of this county, of any county. But the very first thing when we come to finance is, and I heard it, well, we have a computer. When we talk about ARPA, when they throw 35 million at you, which doubles the amount of money that you know we're recording. There are a lot of rules and regulations. We talked about that before, right? Again, I'll point out the advancement we made on the capital planning. I have quality people in quality positions. What I've sat here watched tonight is we're pushing up from the bottom, and I keep hearing the comment I just made again, when is enough enough? But you've been awarding raises, right? I'm gonna just point out one here.
Yeah.
You just made a comment about 16%.
No, I didn't.
When,
I didn't.
well, it was similar to something similar, but if you look back and you run the numbers, because as you know, that's exactly what I'm doing here. 2 or 3 year decisions here tonight, that's exactly what you've done. So what to me is arbitrarily looking at is you're pushing from the bottom. You want to hold from the top with an arbitrary figure of 100,000, which I'm going to tell you is not competitive in this market for a quality position. Not in this state. I'm sorry. We all know that. We don't like to pay for it. We want the service, but we don't want to pay for it. And when you start squishing it, put a tomato in there. Put a nice flavorful tomato, blueberry, whatever you want to put in there. What's gonna happen?
Pops.
Pressure. It pops. And you start this whole process all over again. So I'm not gonna justify as to whether, I don't feel I have to. I'm gonna tell you, I know I've already proven it. Worth a lot more than that figure. I enjoy my job here. I love my job here. And I think that is an appropriate figure to maintain competitiveness, which again is a repeated comment in here. So that's really the only defense that I have. Thank you for listening.
Any changes proposed?
Got a comment over there.
Joe.
I have a question for Scott. He doesn't know this is coming, so. He stumbles and falls down.
Won't be the first time.
That would be the reason.
Won't be the last.
But finance has grown during the years that I was here. In fact, I'm not even sure we had finance the first day I showed up.
We did,
We did, okay, that's good.
and we had 4.
I don't remember ever having, well, I do remember having 4 eventually, but now we have, there appears we have a vacancy, unless you've hired some in the meantime. I'm saying, why couldn't you try to go ahead this next year with 3? Because you actually gave me the realm. Opera is not the same as it used to be anymore. We're almost done completely with opera. I think we've learned all of our lessons. We've got a system. It's just a matter of making it go.
So let me ask you a question, Joe.
Well,
What do you think finance is?
oh, it's more than that. In fact, the one thing that's a big change is that we had kind of little problems in the beginning. When I walked in the first door, they didn't know how much money they had. I actually knew about places to look for money because people told me where it was. And that they were like insulted. How do you know that? Well, people talk. But the big thing is this. The goal was to take and centralize the system. Everybody, little department had its own little finance person, controlling its thing, and then bringing over a bag of money and depositing it. You don't do that anymore. Yeah.
So-
I mean, the thing is that we've come so far. Are we far enough so that we don't need to have 4 people? Because
So
Can I touch on that? Yeah, I'd like to. So first off with ARPA, that's a great example. John, I think you've talked to about the amount of money that we spent in outsourcing the recording of that. And I'll tell you, and I'm looking at my manager, Audrey, who is very well qualified. The reason a good reason that had to be outsourced was really because of the difficulty and the lack of resources in-house. You now have that. I've done it, been there. I know what this needs to be done. The same thing with the audits. To avoid falling behind the audits, it's going to get even tighter. I'm qualified to do in-house auditing. With my skills and my abilities, I can do everything but sign off on an audit. I don't have that CPA license. One more year, and we've talked about this. That's why it remained in the budget. I considered it. But because of the changes and everything we've gone through, and you had 2 employees from an office of 4 down to 2 for a long time, and they really fell behind despite all the efforts that they made and keeping up. I am now trying to finally, because of their abilities and because of what they've done, it sort of accelerated my role. Okay, to answer that question would be, I think we need the position 1 more year to really continue to build. Did I get all the questions? I'm thinking there was
you
one
did.
more.
I just, you're giving me your answer. My feeling is that I know these people know how they worked, okay? In fact, a lot of this past year, they worked because one person worked at home and stuff, so they had to do a different type of communication. But I would still argue that in terms of the overall workload, we've actually made it better because of the qualifications of the people that we've hired in the last few years.
Yes, and so I would agree with that, and I would say that this is a step in continuing that. I know what my third point was gonna be to kind of answer. You talked about centralizing everything, the sheriff's not here tonight. But I can tell you, I think the sheriff would give some due credit to some of the things I've already instituted with regards to take a look at the grants. And special revenues on his side. Gonna be working with EMA next on taking care of that. Again, I go back to Dan. Dan probably could give me a good reference on the capital plan and working with him on that.
I'm not saying
Okay,
you're gonna work ahead. I'm just
We're
saying-
almost there, but there's still
This is
the
our
need.
meeting.
to take it.
Okay, we're,
Cut all
whatever.
that out,
All right.
okay?
well,
This is our meeting.
Okay, I just had to bring it up because I'm
Let's-
always thinking.
Scott's got a
in my own mind and saying, what do
Yeah.
I do with?
Scott,
The only thing I will mention is that the finance team processes everything from every department in this county. They need to understand federal grants. They need to understand contract compliance. They need to make sure that we have every piece of paper that we need, certificate of insurances to go along with the contracts, the I-9s, the W-2s, all that stuff that goes along, that nobody really ever thinks about. Oh, when they talk about finance, oh, those are the people that pay the bills. It's a lot more than that.
They cover
It's a heck
my,
of a lot more.
they
than
cover my butt all the time.
It'll be the number one thing that'll
I
get you in
reversed
trouble
myself,
as a
you can have
county.
one more.
that's one thing that I'd like to write down. That fits together with what I've been asking for several years is workload indicators for the major functions. How many invoices or how many pieces of paper, whatever you use as an indicator, 2 or 3, and then show it, tell us how it's changed. And I think we should do that for each one. This is the only organization I've ever seen that where all through all this stuff. We know how much they spend in paperwork, so we don't know what the output is. And so that's just a general kind of concern, I'd like that to hear in the budget someplace, or in the minutes. And so, okay,
I have no comments for me on this budget.
we have any changes proposed?
It is only up 1.5%.
Yeah, that's true. So in a way, they've done what don't.
So there are reductions compared to what other departments.
So,
I
somebody,
have one question, Scott, which goes across over several different departments. Some departments have had the transfer of their utilities to their departments, but it seems that the ones that are here in Hill House have not. Can they please be assigned so that it's a fair system across all the departments?
Okay, just so Brian knows, he's gonna be getting more. Because he owns pretty much, the first floor except for IT. So basically what'll happen is this will all be done on a square footage basis
Mhm.
and distributed that way.
Sure.
It's not really a big deal. I mean, honestly, for the other departments that end up seeing, I think it was less than 1% of their budget, but we can do that.
Okay,
excellent,
that'd be great.
excellent. Okay, where are we?
Treasurer's
Now we're-
budget.
3% increase. Does anybody have anything?
I don't have any comments on treasurer's.
No comments?
No, that's it.
Well, we'll right by them. And now we're.
Angela.
BMA.
You're on.
So the comment from Mike, I think on EMA, he'd like to know what the assistant director does for such a high salary. Compared to others who work in the county.
He is, backup GIS, well, he was GIS. He was upgraded or promoted, he applied and was hired, as the director. He's also the tech person. And he, yeah. Really is my right hand.
It's not on.
So, is that enough?
Mike asked the questions.
He can listen to the tape if he wants the answers.
Well, you're down, your department's down from 4, which used to be, I remember when I was first on, my first, it was 4 people. You're down to 3 now. Yeah.
We're 4 people.
Oh.
Yeah. 2 salaries.
Oh, yeah, you were 5. Yeah,
No.
because you had a specialist that you no longer have.
We did combine 2 positions.
Yes.
into one.
That was the one.
To streamline.
So I commend you for that.
Thank you. So I do want to say, not looking at benefits or salaries, we did reduce our budget by, I believe it was like 1.9. For Ray's question, what have we done?
Already.
Already, yeah, we
Okay.
did reduce it.
Okay.
By 1.9.
I think Mike did want a job description for the system.
We have that.
We
don't have it with me now.
No, I know, but
Mhm.
you have to give it to him when you see it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Mike should attend one of the hazard mitigation sessions that they do, and then also go through the hazard
Monday.
mitigation workbook. And look at the amount of data that's compiled by EMA, that they can tell you how many vehicles your municipality has. And
I have that.
pretty much all of your assets. So there's a lot of data mining that goes on, and the deputy's key to that.
He is. So that was, Spencer and myself putting that whole thing together, for 18 months, and that's not the only thing we were doing. So, you know, life goes on. Yeah. I'm sure we could have done it actually much quicker if life had stopped. I'm absolutely positive we probably would have done it in 6 months. Any
I tell you,
questions? There is one thing I do want to make sure.
Yeah.
So the GIS planner, I just want to go over that again.
Right. I'm writing that
That
down.
was 50%, funded through the general fund. Federal, and the other 50% federal. It was my plan to increase that quarterly. By a quarter every, year until it was fully funded, but grants being what they are, I do not have the confidence level in federal, grants as I once did. And so I am asking for that to be increased by 50%.
So dollar number.
Well, here, sorry.
It's 31,613 in the budget.
So it'll increase by, 33,294. So the total proposed is 63,838.
Yeah, 63,838. That's where I got it.
And that's because we're gonna fully fund it in the county budget
Yep.
from grants.
And all 4 positions after that will be funded, fully funded through the general fund. And this is a good time to point out. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, but theoretically, that position will still be funded through a reimbursement grant, is that how that
Yes,
works?
I was just gonna say that. So as long
So
as
you
it's
can't control the timing,
And there's no indications that it is going away.
right?
Our allowable expenses are 50% reimbursed. Our award is to
This gives,
30 something.
gives the incumbents of security.
Yes, it gives security because it's funded by the county rather than the grants.
Right.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So somebody needs to move increasing it by 33,294.
I'll make that motion, Catherine.
294. Is that the number?
Yeah,
63,838.
to 63,838, yes.
Line
Where's my
1010, 3103. I'll second it.
Yep, so it's going from 31,613 to 63,838.
With anticipation of a grant.
Right, okay,
Amen.
no questions? All right, water fair, get, all in favor? Yep, okay,
Is that, Eric, and then did Sean second?
John,
I did.
John?
John did, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you.
And so while I'm up here, because I waited so long, and so patiently,
well, so did we.
I just like to take a moment to say, I chose to come here to Kennebec. While I was being interviewed, I interviewed Scott. I looked around. I was pretty familiar with Kennebec, from my time working at the state. I actually did program audits for the federal government with the EMA office while I was at the state. I will say I chose to come here because I was so impressed that there actually was a 4-member, finance department. That you have a full IT department, you have a full HR department. And I don't regret my decision at all. This is actually one of the best places, I've worked for and with some of the best people. So it's really a wonderful county to work for. So I just wanted to say that while I'm.
Appreciate that.
Little two things. I mean, I only know about EMA. So,
And you're
Checks in the mail.
just away from the center.
yes, actually,
That helps, helps a lot.
it is nice.
We won't.
Thank you.
Anything else in the EMA? EMA.
Too late, I said that.
You're good.
Boy, that grant better come through.
Back from the mail.
So the next one is in programs. And we did have 4-H come up last time.
Yeah, I don't.
This is tab 14.
Oh, no.
Scott, this is kind of a bucket. Can you just describe for us what's in this bucket?
Okay, just give me 1 second.
Or maybe sort of why it exists and it's not in other places? And I don't mean line by line, but just in general.
Doesn't feel right.
Yeah, just let me pull them all up.
Yep. 3 of us are new, so I think that's useful.
Okay, so, the program grants, but they are, okay? So they're grants issued by the county for specific things. We are down to 2, which is the cooperative extension upstairs. And then, soil and water, and, Tom probably could speak to that better than I could. So the county has historically funded these. And actually, I think the extension service was actually requesting more, but that didn't make it. I think they wanted like 56,000 or something, but only 47 was pushed forward. So a lot of these lines are like your risk management line, okay? So it's a little difficult to distribute. So it gets distributed between the jail and the general fund, and we leave it at that. A lot of the employee benefits have all been pushed up to the departments that are incurring those costs. And then we just have really, there's a legal line there, just sort of to give us a little bit of cushion, because we just never know from year to year what's actually going to happen legally. You know, today it seems like people sue just at a drop of a hat. And then we have our capital accounts, I think, are in there as well. And that's pretty much it. The audit fees, given that that's a sort of a general, all-encompassing, that sort of sits in professional fees. But I've actually been thinking about maybe moving that into finance, because they really do manage that the most. And I will say this on Scott's behalf. He has been actually auditing the audit, which is nice for a change, because we're actually finding things.
Oh,
Right,
that's-
yeah.
Yeah, so,
That's key.
you know, even though you get somebody to come in and tell you something, what is the old saying, trust but verify? So that's what we're doing.
Downtown.
And on another note, concerning the audit, our auditor sort of gave us an ultimatum of a 75% retainer, or he was gonna drop us. So while we were thinking about that, we put an RFP out and he dropped us. So, you know, I don't know about you guys, but paying 75% upfront for nothing, to me, if he said 25, I probably would have been, okay, I'll do that. And then this week, we got another email saying, oh, well, we're gonna pass. So, we're in the process of looking for another auditor. I have a few phone calls to make. So I'll be honest with you, I don't think it's a bad thing.
Was that RHR Smith?
Yep.
They're one of only a few in the state that are doing this now.
Yeah.
What's that?
They're one of only a few in the state that are doing this now.
Yeah, there are a few out there.
Yep.
Actually, I had a firm call me from out of state that expressed an interest. You know, but, auditors are becoming a rarity, because they are required in the state of Maine, which is interesting, to have a peer review. They can't audit unless they get a peer review. So another auditor audits them on how they audit,
Oh, boy.
which they got to pay for. So, you know, when we moved up here, my wife's a CPA, she got out of the business. She wasn't going to pay for that. You know, between the cost of just obtaining her license. So what you're seeing a couple things in governmental finance. Scarcity of auditors and scarcity of government finance professionals.
Very true. So our books are gonna have to be as clean as possible because they are picking and choosing over who they're taking. So the traditional status of the municipal and the county books, even though you think you're ready for audit, and at the end you end up with 3 pages of adjusting journal entries.
Right.
They're not gonna deal with that any longer. They're gonna come in and they're gonna want, what Kennebec now currently has is somebody who can get prepared and basically have a pre-audit work done. So when they come in, I've always prided myself on it. Usually I'll have to give in to 1 or 2 adjusting journal entries because of AP timing. And because I knew the auditor, so it wasn't worth the battle, so I let it win, but, in any event, that's why it's very important.
So just, as an FYI, today I was asked, and I don't know if you know Sue Lestrade. She was Bucksfield?
Bucksport, and really throughout the whole state too.
So we gave a presentation today at NCCA to all the commissioners about what's going on in finance. And the 3 things I talked about were current bank reconciliations, current audits, and training of financial people. Because the rules and regulations, the GASB pronouncements that they need to understand that apply to governmental finance. Not everybody's walking around with that in their hip pocket. So there's a lot to it, especially when you start getting into federal grants and understanding. My favorite section is right or right, assurance of compliance. That alone makes me not want to take any federal money. Because nobody can explain what those statutes are in the federal statutes.
Sounds like the IRS.
Yeah, it's worse.
Well, you look at the federal procurement regulation, which is how much?
Yeah.
They give it to the it's enormous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And there's no way anybody could say, oh, yeah, I'm sure I can comply with
You
that.
taking questions on this one yet?
That we're sort of generally talking
Pretty
about.
much.
I noticed.
I just want to know why are we refunding MD3?
Yes.
We're not.
Yeah, it's.
Well, we got money.
They made a request for, now it's a program grant because they're going non-for-profit.
Right,
So Tim asked if we'd be willing to fund. So,
that's what it's for?
yeah, that's all.
To fund what?
25,000, I think was his
A
request.
donation to them, I'm not.
Say that again?
Oh, so they want us to donate to the nonprofit that is their new entity.
Yes.
I'm gonna make a motion that we remove that 25,000.
I'm gonna second it before you
Okay,
finish.
let me get ready.
Are you ready?
What's your motion?
I'll
Sure.
make a motion that we remove the 25,000 MD3 donation from line A 001-2045-4713.
This is in.
It has nothing to do with it.
Was there any submissions that came into that, or was it just simply we're asking for 25,000 to fund the program?
What do you mean by submission?
Well, like, I know at the town level, non-for-profits submit a letter requesting funds and kind of justifying them. Was there
He
anything?
submitted a letter, I think, was in the initial package, maybe. If you look behind your, sheets, I think his email or whatever he sent to me.
No,
No, I didn't see anything.
non-thing.
Anyway, I'm seconding that motion.
Yeah, I got John and Ray.
I don't think it's over. Elements right now. What is MD3?
It's where they put a doctor in the name.
Yes.
What's that?
It was a program in the county that was originally funded by ARPA money. That
I can send it to you.
became an operational cost. And last year, budget committee got rid of it. Well, I tried the year before, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
Last year.
Vote on this. All in favor?
Second.
Sure. Do we get a second and a?
I have a motion and a second from John and Ray to
Yeah.
remove 25,000 to nothing.
Okay,
Calling for a vote?
yep.
Call, yeah, you
Call
call
for
for
a
a
vote.
vote.
Okay, so you're unanimous. Now, you do have $100,000 for capital items. That's that's separate from the capital plan, or it's in the capital plan, or what?
Part of what we discussed
No, that's
in that
yesterday's.
Yeah, okay.
yesterday. So we're at 7:30. Do we want to do capital next week? And whatever else comes up.
Yeah, because I don't think everybody here is
Yeah.
lingering needs to set through all that, and we appreciate you being here. I don't know why, but you do, but
You're so.
God bless you. We're not, are we entertaining? Easy. Get a life. Get a life.
I just come here to
Holy moly.
How's that?
I just come here to see Lloyd.
Oh.
Wow.
I won't ask why he's familiar with, you're working the prison jail, right? Yeah, I won't ask why you're familiar with him, but that's. I didn't say your name.
Came in for a tour and had a great time.
That's what we're calling.
Okay, we have agreed that everything is done and.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn from
Who's the
John
second?
Second.
and
Eric.
Eric. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you all.
And,
Not going, oh, yeah, I'm here.
I can't wait to.
yeah.
Clip that.
I'm good.
Thank you for having us.
This is good. Yeah.